Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I was thinking I would do a prom makeup tutorial because it is lovely prom season. Yeah, so I was just thinking something that was neutral that could kind of go with any sort of dress color. I did a smoky brown eye with like a gold accent, but of course if you had like a cool tone dress you could do like a silver accent, because this eye that I did is pretty neutral brown. It's not really a warm brown or a cool brown, so it can really go either way. Yeah, sorry I sound so stuffy. My allergies are so freaking terrible, like, can't even breathe. I'm a mouth breather. Yeah, so if you want to see how to get this look, just keep watching and don't forget to subscribe before you leave my channel. And all the products that I have used in this video I will have listed in my blog, so go ahead and definitely check that out. It's durancree.com/blogyourfaceoff. You are. And yeah, so I'm really excited to get started. Let's go. Alright, so I thought I was recording, but I guess that whole time I wasn't, so all you missed was me putting the tape on my lid and blending in a transition shade, and I used the shade Naked from the original Naked palette, and then I'm just going all over my lid with Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. Now having done this once, I probably would have gone in with a darker shade into my crease. That way when I do put a powder over this pomade, it'll like blend out easier. As you can tell, it kind of like stuck all the, as you will be able to tell, all the powder I put on top of it kind of just stuck to the Anastasia Beverly Hills and didn't really blend out into the crease like I had wanted it to. So that's definitely something I would have changed. I probably would have just used a different shade in the crease as well. And what I'm buffing out on top of it is Activist, and that is from the Tarte Let in the Bloom palette. And yeah, I probably would have just stuck some of that in the crease before, but I had a hard time blending this out. So what I did to kind of fix this was I just went back and forth with buffing over the Naked color and Buck, both from the Naked palette, and then alternating with Activist, just to kind of get the best blend that I could. That's the way that I found made it easiest, but it didn't still turn out how I wanted it to, but y'all get the gist. And then I'm going over it with a Maybelline pressed pigment, and I'm not sure what color this one is in, but I will link it in my blog. Yeah, so I'm just putting that all over the middle of my lid, and then I'm going to use a brush with no product on it just to kind of blend out the edges of it so it's not very harsh. And this gold color has kind of a rose gold undertone to it, so then I'm just going to layer on this Urban Decay liner, and this one is a more of a true gold color, and I wanted to layer this just to kind of give it an effect of like mixed metals, sort of almost like neutral, not warm like the rose gold would be, and not kind of cool like the gold would be. So I just wanted to mix them up, and I thought that it came out with a pretty good effect, and I kind of carried that down onto my lips later also. Alright, so now I'm just removing that tape. You get that beautiful clean line, and just going to take that off and then have some grape juice. I really wanted something sweet. So now I'm just going in with my Photo Focus foundation by Wet n Wild, and I like to work in sections with this. I find that it kind of dries out and makes it hard to blend if you apply it on your whole face at once. So yeah, I'm just going to tap that in, and I'm using my Sigma tapered kabuki brush for this. I really, really love this brush for applying foundation. And then I'm going in with a concealer. This is the Maybelline Fit Me, and I'm just dotting that all over my under eyes and in a little triangular form on my nose and my forehead. And I'm just going to buff it out and stop singing. Okay, so now I'm just going to blend it out with my tiny little beauty blender. This is actually the Real Technique sponge, and I love their sponges so much more than the beauty blenders. I just think they're so soft, and they're like infinitely more affordable. They cost like $6. And then I'm also putting this concealer on my smile lines. I find that I have like a lot less creasing when I do this. I just recently started doing it. I forgot who I saw suggest this, but I was like, oh, that's a good idea, and it really does work. So I can't live without doing this now. I've got to do it every time. So yeah. And then I'm just going to buff out any creases that may have became while I was blending out the other eye, and I'm just going to set this with my Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm just going to kind of bake it and down the bridge of my nose and stuff. I don't usually bake on my nose. I'll usually just bake my forehead and my under eyes just because that's what I like to be most bright. Then I'm just going to buff the rest of that powder all over my face, just a light amount of powder on the rest of it. And then I'll buff off that bake. Alright, beautiful, bright, nice, awesome. Okay, so then I'm going in with the Hoola bronzer, and I love using that bronzing brush that it comes with. I think it's like perfect. Kind of reminds me of the NARS Ita brush. And if you can tell, I'm not just stopping where a contour would usually start. Instead of continuing going in towards my mouth, I'm kind of stopping and then changing the direction to vertical. And I honestly learned this trick from working at the House of Torment, because this is what we do to like the zombies and stuff if we want to make their cheeks look really sunken in. And I kind of did want to make my face have that really skinny, like almost sunken in effect. So I did bring that bronzer down vertically on the side where I usually would end it. Then I'm just going to buff it out because it's a little harsh, and go down the bridge of my nose and just on the tip of it as well. Now I'm using a blush, and this one is the NARS blush in Impassioned. So I'm just going to buff that all over my cheeks. And then I also go in with the Too Faced Peach Blush. I love this stuff so much. It smells so good. My favorite candies are like those Peachos, and this just reminds me of that so much, so I really like it. And then I'm just going to take all these shades that I used on my lid, which was the Naked, Buck, and Activist, and I'm just going to buff those out on my lower lash line. When I go in with the darkest shade, I'm going to switch to a more precise pencil brush just so that it doesn't look like I have a black eye and the darker shade is nice and tight up against that waterline. Alright, and I'm about to go in with a Wet n Wild glitter on the inner corner, and I really, really like that glitter for something like an inner corner, or maybe even like if you had no shadows on your lid, you could put it on your lid, it might look pretty. But I did not like it. I put it underneath the rose gold and the gold color before, and I'm not sure if you can tell on my other eye, but there's almost like a sort of wet spot because the formula is basically just like chapstick almost. It feels like a lip balm with glitter in it. So it will crease, it will like make a huge mess. So I would save it for something that's like this to where it'll be on its own. You can see the little wet spot there. And then I'm just going to put on some mascara, poke myself in the eye, and then put on some lashes. And I use the velour lashes, and I'm not sure what style they're in, but I will list that as well in my blog. I love them. They're so pretty. And then I'm just going in with my Ofra Cosmetics Peach Blush, which they always say that their blushes are blushes, but I find that they are so beautiful as highlights. I'm not sure if that's just me, but I love this highlight. It's awesome. It's the Ofra Cosmetics Peach Blush, and I'm just going to put that on my cheeks and on my little nosy and maybe on my Cupid's bow as well. Oh, and I forgot to say, when I thought that I was filming, I also had already done my brows, so y'all didn't see me do my brows, which is a bummer, but you gotta move on. You gotta move on. Alright, so now I'm kind of just lining my lips with Smashbox Cosmetics Always On Liquid Lipstick in True Grit. I'm just kind of putting that on the outsides, and then I'm going in with Kylie Cosmetics Dolce K for the center to fill it all in. I'm kind of just blending those together. And then I'm going to put on top of that the Kylie Cosmetics Metallic Liquid Lip in Air. And I added this just to kind of mimic what I had going on my eyes. So it kind of was like brown and gold. I really, really like the way it turned out. And I'm trying out different editing styles, so I'm not sure how I like this whole slow-mo thing, but we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you come back next week. Don't forget to subscribe so that you will know when I put up new videos, and check out my blog to see all the products that I used in this video. Bye-bye!